friends. Today on Clark Adventures, we're going over some of those important items I think you should probably want to have on hand when you first go out in your RV, camper, or trailer. One thing I like to help clean out if you don't have a back flush on your RV is, even if you do, this is a great thing to hook to your hose, drop down in the toilet. This spins around to help clean your black tank and keep the gunk off the sides. It's here at Walmart for $20.88, so a little over 20 bucks. A pretty good investment, especially after you dump, to go in there and clean your hose, clean out your black tank. The thing you're going to need is, of course, a water hose for hooking up and filling your RV, your water tank. I like to have a really short one for when I'm really close to the water outlet, but you will likely need a longer one. You can do the 0G or collapsible hoses, but if you just have a short hose, you don't have to hassle with it, rolling it up. But if you are far away, you will need the extra length, and if you're a little far away, you can hook these two together. Another thing I just picked up online from Amazon was some brass quick connects. So you can put those on the hose and quick connect them to each other, them to themselves, and etc. So definitely a water safe drinking hose. And to go with your water hoses and your water hooks, make sure you have a pressure regulator. They do have a couple here at Walmart. I would probably go on Amazon and get an adjustable one so you can adjust the water pressure down or to the level you want. A lot of people carry theirs run theirs at 60. I only run mine at 40 PSI, but I'm able to do that with a screwdriver and the fancier one. It costs a little more, but I think it's a good investment and it's worth it. But bare minimum, have at least one that will regulate it down to avoid from blowing your water blinds in your vehicle, an RV or camper. And of course, while we're still on the water system, make sure you have some sort of water filter. Either the basic filter, it's directional, put it in line. When you're filling up your RV or when you're hooked up to city water, make sure you filter your water that's going in, especially if you intend to drink it for any reason or use it for cooking. And one I just picked up on Amazon, but they also have it here at Walmart, is a pre-filter. This is really nice because it does a lot of the work before it gets to your regular filter, and that screws in line. You can hook it up right at the spigot, or and also use it when you're filling up, because maybe your hose or your water at home is not the cleanest as well. So a nice little pre-filter will make your other filter be more effective and last longer. And of course, you have to deal with the waste. So if you don't already have one, even if you have an old one, you might consider picking up this is my favorite, the Rhino Flex water hose, because it accordions out and stretches out, but it'll also stay pretty stiff when you push it together. Nice kit. This comes with the clear elbow, so you can see when your water is running clear when you're dumping. Has caps to cover up both ends. I keep mine stored inside a plastic storage tote under the RV, so it's completely separated from everything. I even have a plastic garbage bag inside that I put it inside there. And if you're worried, you can always get an extension. I've never had to deal with an extension. I actually prefer to not hook up to the sewer at an RV park, especially if we're not staying long term, but just hook it up and dump when I leave, so I can do it all at once. But if you're staying for a long time, you never keep your black tank open. You would only keep your gray tank open. But I like to fill up my gray tank to help flush out the hose after I empty the black tank when we get ready to leave. So that's the Rhino Flex RV sewer hose kit. Definitely a must-have. And with the waste system, something you probably should have, some people would call it a donut, which is a thick rubber thing, but they do have something here from Camco. It's a flexible adapter, and some RV parks require that you have that in case so your hose seals directly if you're going to be hooked up. I still need to pick one of these up, probably get one of these today, because if you're say your hose doesn't seal really quick into the connection at the park or the campground, this will make your hose sit tight and adjust for any gap that might be in that sewer. Sometimes they're not finished. And since we're right here, right next to it, we do have stacks of leveling blocks. These are good to have, whether you want to put them on, you have one of those things that leveling jacks and you want to put them down so they don't go so far to the ground. Use them to drive up. I only have one little pack of these, probably could use a second. And they also have a similar to the Amazon levelers right near them, these curve levelers. I would probably get the ones online which are a little bigger and more useful, but in a pinch those would work really well. But your leveling blocks, definitely a must-have before you start out, especially to keep your fridge and things running great. And it's not fun to sleep in your bed at an angle. Really have before starting out, a really good idea is some sort of what they call dog bones or an adapter. This one is for when you're hooking up to a regular outlet, to a 15 amp, maybe mooch docking in somebody's driveway. But if you're in a campsite, depending on what you have, we have minis of 30 amps. So we have a 50 to 30 adapter. This one is an adapter for also to plug in your regular. But what you might want is a 50 to 30 if you have a 50 amp and you get to a park that only has 30 amp hookups. We had one in our previous video. The 50 amp was faulty, but the 30 amp was faulty, but the 50 amp worked. So we used our adapter so we could use the 50 amp hookup. So those are a few of the things you really might want to have with you before you go out on your first trip that you can get right here or at your local Walmart. Of course, there's lots of fun things you can get. Really cool camp-related coffee mugs, even some neat wine glass holders, sheet sets, spare tire wheel covers, pot hats, just fun stuff you can add for decoration. It's good to have one of these utility pop-up trash cans. Are really nice to have, but you can get those a lot of places. They have these patio mats that are great for throwing outside your RV to keep things clean when you're going in and out. Also a nice place to set your chair on. They're really good deal and convenient, and I think really you should have these when you start. And of course some lighting for your awning outside just makes the whole camping experience and the RVing experience that much nicer. Also a really good idea to throw a couple of backup fuses in your toolkit so you're not stranded if you blow one. Another item I think you should pick up before you head out in your RV, trailer, or camper are a good pair of chocks for your wheels. And I would avoid those very lightweight plastic ones and go ahead and get these beefy, heavy rubber ones. They got some weight to it. They got good traction to grip the ground, and you can pick these up. I got mine at Harbor Freight for about $7 or $8 or $9, but under $10 and for each one. But well worth it because they will keep your vehicle from moving, and that's a good thing. Well, there you have it, some items that I think you should definitely make part of your arsenal when you go out in your RV or a camper or trailer for the first time. If you think I missed anything, go ahead and leave it down in the comments below. Really appreciate it. Thanks for watching again, Clark Adventures, and we'll see you next time.